Thanks for joining us. We are live on the virtual pub. Got a nice chilled one for you today. I'm going to be breathing and moving, turning off Netflix, getting some space, getting some perspective. We've got Sarah, our resident expert yoga instructor, sat backstage, ready to start from the ground up. I think is the plan. We're going to start off with, I say we, I'll probably be sat on my bed watching the show, making sure nothing goes wrong. But I'm going to be getting involved. I'm going to be doing the breathing exercises. I'm going to be doing a little bit of movement in the background. But yeah, we're starting from the ground up by the sounds of it. So it's going to literally be some kind of basic breath work, which, although it's basic, the little bit that I've done is it can be pretty powerful. You can all of a sudden realize you're being a little bit more introspective, getting a nice bit of perspective. That rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't even realize. Give us a little comment if you're tuned in. Let us know you're here. It's basically just going to be me filling time for a minute, just while we let people come in and get settled, find a little bit of space, maybe put your yoga mat down if you've got one. But other than that, yeah, just give us a comment. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you tuned in from. It's always nice to hear when we got people tuned in from all around the country, all around the globe. That's always exciting. But equally, if you tuned in from just around the corner, let us know that as well. Hopefully you're all finding the link okay, and you're all ready to do some stretching and some breathing. If you're after the YouTube link, which some people we know use quite a lot now, particularly for these type of for the masterclasses and everything, we know that people like to stream it up onto their smart TV so they can sit in their living room and kind of get on with the show, get involved, get along, with the masterclass, and have it up on the living room TV or however you want to do it. So if you do need to do that, there's the YouTube link there in the Facebook comments. If you're watching on YouTube, then there's the comment as well, but you've already got the link. Tuning in from Jersey, thanks for joining us all the way from Jersey. Thanks to Jenna for tuning in as well. Yeah, okay, we got some people joining us. It'd be great if you guys could share this. I mean, the best thing that you can do is if you hit share down below and then hit start a watch party. Apparently that does some crazy things to the algorithm and it just spreads it like wildfire. So if you're feeling generous or you don't want to listen to me just filling time for the next 3 minutes, then press share and then press start a watch party and you'll see the views rocket, because those watch parties apparently are the number one thing we can do at the moment for spreading the love. And it's never been about the numbers for us here. It's always about kind of getting this content, which we feel is valuable content, to as many people as possible, particularly at this weird kind of unique time where we're all locked up, we're all locked indoors. I think things like this, yoga, kind of breathing, these are good things to do at this time. So if you want to give us a little helping hand, press share down below and then press start a watch party. And there you go. Somebody's just done it, because the views have just jumped straight up in one go. So thanks to whoever's starting the watch parties. It's a great way of kind of spreading the content out there to a bigger and wider audience. Thanks to everyone that's joining us. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the 5 past point. Been looking forward to this. I'm in beautiful Torquay. Thanks for joining us, Emily. Thanks to everyone that's joining us. Drop us a little comment down below if you're just joining us. What's on today? You're going to sing for us. You wouldn't want me singing for you, Mike. No, I'm basically just presenting this. I'm just filling time. We've got Sarah sat backstage at the moment, just about to start a kind of basics 101 yoga class. That's going to be starting in about a minute and a half's time. So get excited for that. Drop us a comment. Let us know where you're tuned in from. And also, if you're going to be getting involved with the class, find a little bit of space. Put your yoga mat down if you've got one. Maybe a drink of water or whatever. All the usual things that you need for a fitness/yoga class. But from what I hear, this one's going to be nice and chilled, nice and easy, real kind of basic introduction, which I think is the right way to start something like this. It's we can't assume that people are kind of expert yogis. We need to kind of be inclusive and kind of keep it at least you're honest. I can't sing either. I only sing in very, very rare karaoke nights, and it's always one of them. You wake up the next day and think, oh God, did I really do that? Big up Butler, locked in. Thanks to everyone that's joining us. This is good numbers. Thanks to everyone that's joining us. Just if you have just joined us, one thing that you can do that really massively helps us, not just so that we can see the numbers going up for our own kind of reason, but just to spread this valuable content out to as many people as possible. If you hit share down below and hit start watch party, we've kind of found out over the last few days that does some crazy things to the algorithms, and it basically notifies all of your friends and followers that the virtual pub's live. So yeah, if you're feeling generous and you're feeling like you want to spread this and you're feeling like this could be valuable to people, then hit share and then hit start a watch party, and you watch those numbers rocket right up. We are good afternoon, Mo. Thanks for joining us. We're a couple of minutes away from, or not even that, we're a minute away from handing over to Sarah Nason-Mathews, who's going to be taking us through today's yoga class. As I say, starting off nice and basic. Everyone should be able to get involved. There's no barrier to entry. We're starting off from the ground up, and we're building our understanding and our foundations. Thanks for joining us from, I've never known with that one. Is that Mallorca or is that Mallorca, or is it all the same thing? Yeah, let me know in the comments. But thanks for joining us either way. I think we're pretty much ready to bring in our guest masterclass host for today. It's worth mentioning this is going to be a weekly show here on the pub now. So yeah, as I say, we're thanks Amy for starting a watch party. It really does make a big difference. The numbers seem to rocket right up when that happens. So it's basically like you're going live as well, kind of. It's like it's kind of notifies all of your friends. It's like it's literally viral in that respect, in as much as if we start it and then you start one to all your people and they start it, before you know it, taking over the old internet. So yeah, thanks for starting the watch parties. That really does help. I think that's enough of me waffling on now. I'm going to bring in our guest masterclass host, Sarah, everybody. Hello.
Hey. Hi everyone.
How you doing?
You and welcome. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Looking forward to a bit of breathing and a bit of stretching.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. So I wanted to welcome everyone first and foremost for joining us today, and thanks to all the lovely people out there that have shared it and started the watch party so that we can actually get a little bit more information out to even more people. So like Samuel said, we're just going to be starting from the basics today, because obviously from me being here, I can't see and I don't know who I've got in front of me. And obviously then I can't be aware of your yoga experience and, you know, what you do or don't know already. So if we start from the ground up and we start basic and we tap back into our own body and our own breath, we can grow together. So we can make it really nice and organic over the next few weeks of lockdown. And of course, you can always have the opportunity to expand upon things that we touch upon, because we've only got short segments of time. So we can only sort of start touching upon things. And then it's your job as an interested human to research it further, you know. So the only way that we actually get to grips with learning about breath and learning about yoga is through practice. Okay, so the idea of me being here is to start that interest or that inquiry into it with you, and then we can have a little yoga flirtation, a little bit of breath flirtation, and then it's your job to go home or to stay home and to continue researching it and seeing how the tips that I'm going to share with you today can actually impact and make a big difference on your life if you practice over time. Okay, but practice is the key. You won't be able to get the benefits of any form of work if you don't put the effort in. So I'd like to again welcome you here, my humble studio yoga abode. And I'm coming close to the camera, so I like to get up close and personal. So that
Sarah, I'm going to jump off
some
backstage,
breath work,
and I'll hand over to you for actually starting the class. But I'll be here in the background if anything goes wrong. I'm right here.
Hey, sorry,
I think the signal dropped out a bit there. I'm going to jump off backstage. I'll hand over to you to actually start the class, but I'll be here in the background keeping an eye on things. If anything goes wrong, I'm right here. Okay.
Okay, that's cool. Is
Okey-doke.
the sound? How's the sound now? Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Does it sound okay?
Yeah, it's all good. We can hear you. We can see you.
So what we notice as we breathe, many of us don't tend to breathe, or some of us don't tend to breathe using our full capacity of what we can from accessing into the belly and the diaphragm. Okay, we live in this world where we're always on the go, we're super busy, and without realizing it, when we're paying attention to a task, when we're busy listening to something, or even if you're on your phone, quite often, without realizing, you're forgetting to breathe, or your breath becomes very shallow and it can become very irregular. So we're going to start with the very basics of breath, okay? And that's going to take us into what we call deep abdominal and diaphragmatic breathing, okay? So I'd like you to just bring your hands and place them onto your belly, okay? So, well, first and foremost, actually, let's make sure that you're sat nice and comfortably. I mean, you can see that I'm sat here. I'm very used to sitting in this position. So I'm very used to having practiced yoga for so many years to be able to sit comfortably in a cross-legged position on the floor. However, not knowing where you are with your practice or whether you've ever sat to do proper breath work before, I would definitely recommend that before we begin, you get yourself into a position that's comfortable. Okay, so you want to be able to hold your torso and your body upright. So whether that means you can, if you're comfortable sitting on the floor like this, then that's fine. Or you can bring yourself up slightly so your hips are slightly higher than your knees. I've actually got one of my foam rollers here behind me. Here's one I made earlier. So for some of you, you might want to just find a cushion or a stool or something that you can sit on so it just lifts and elevates your hips that little bit higher. Okay, so you want your hips to be slightly higher than your knees if you're in a ground position. Okay, also this work can be done from a chair. It's really important that if you have any issues with mobility and you can't quite access sitting on the floor, that is absolutely 100% fine. Okay, you can use a dining chair or any form of chair that you may be sat in. Okay, as long as it enables you to be able to sort of get that rise and that lift. Okay. So now that we've got that little bit out of the way, let's come back into the breath. And I want you to just bring your hand onto your belly. It doesn't matter which hand you use at the moment. And I want you to just palpate the belly a little bit and notice whether you're holding on. We can hold on into these muscles down here. It's because we're very, very used to, in society, sort of pulling the belly in. And it can be quite fashionable to look like you've got, a nice flat stomach. But in this work, we actually want the belly to relax. I've been naming it a breath baby of late, actually. So, so fill your hands around your belly, okay? And sort of like see if you can like come on in and hold it. And at the same time as holding the belly, you want to sort of try and gain a position in your spine, whether you're sat on the chair or on the floor, that enables you to be nice and tall and upright. You've got a slight curve in the lordotic area here, a slight curve in the lumbar spine, but it's not over accentuated. Okay, so we're not really curving. We're just trying to lengthen and straighten, getting the shoulders pretty much over the hips. Okay, so it's a nice upright spinal position that just allows the natural curvature of your spine to flow. Hands are on the belly. And when we breathe, it's really advantageous of you if you close your eyes. Okay, if you were to be breathing at home as well, I would recommend that you can also reduce even more sensory input by putting earplugs in, but that's not going to work well with us today because obviously you wouldn't be able to hear me. And in a moment, so that I will guide you through, and then I'll ask you to close your eyes and just listen to my verbal instruction. But close the eyes so you reduce the visual stimulus as well. Okay, so with the eyes open at the moment, okay, just hold your belly. Okay, you can all see me, but I can't see you, so it's all good. Okay, and let the belly fall, let the belly relax into your hands. And I'd like you to take a lovely, deep, long breath in, as much as it's comfortable for you, okay, because we've all got different breath capacities. So you're going to breathe in. And I'd like you to do it slowly. And as you breathe in, it's almost like you're trying to blow up your belly like it's a balloon. So not really fast, not really quickly, nice and slowly, like a... And let the belly really blow up, let it really expand out, and then just gently relax back into your body as you breathe out. So as you inhale, so the inhalation is what we call a breath in, okay? So as you inhale, you're going to expand into the belly, let the belly softly balloon, okay? We really want to flatten out that diaphragm and open out that belly. And exhale, just let it relax. Now, I don't know how that works for you. I don't know if you're someone that is used to breathing into the belly, but many people aren't. So what happens is a lot of people breathe into here, they breathe into the chest, and then the breath becomes shallow, but you don't realize that because it's your natural format of breathing. So the breath, when you're breathing up into the chest, is almost a little bit like this. Now, so many of you may be able to resonate with that chest breathing, and you may find it difficult to breathe into the belly, but that's absolutely fine, okay? If this is something that's new to you, it's going to take time. Like everything, whenever we learn it for the first time, it takes time, so we have to practice. And breathing is the key, okay? Breathing is the key to life, ultimately. It's what we do as soon as we're born, and it's the last thing we do before we die. But how we live in between with that breath is super key. No, it's super important, and it's the primary key. One of my teachers calls it the master key to our health, to our emotional, our mental, our physical, all of our well-being, how we work, how we compare with our, or how we blend with our environment, how we get on in our relationships with ourselves and other people. The breath is the entry in, okay? So if you are a chest breather and you find it difficult, here's a little thing that may help you. You're just going to bring one hand to the belly, so you've got hold of that belly, and you're going to bring the other hand to your chest. So if you notice that when you're breathing, you're rising up and down here, just apply a very gentle pressure on the chest and try and breathe into the belly, okay? And you can do this now with your eyes closed. So I'm going to invite you all to try this together, okay? So take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just gently close your eyes and just start to apply pressure with both of your palms, one onto the chest and one onto the belly. Now keep the pressure on the chest and soften the hand on the belly and take a nice deep breath into the belly. Really fill your belly up. Really take a lovely, long, deep breath into the belly, but try to keep the chest still. Keep the chest still and breathe out and let the belly be really soft and let it come back into its natural, original start position. And just work with that. Close your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. Relax across your eyelids. Relax into your jaw. Keep applying the gentle pressure through the top palm onto your chest. And with each inhalation, flare your nostrils. Start to get your nose active. And breathe deeply into your belly and see if you can really keep expanding that breath. Expanding that belly. Breathing out very softly. And breathing in, expanding the belly. And breathing out very softly. And I'm going to invite you to stay here and continue breathing at your own pace for another 9 rounds of breath. So a round is a full inhalation, which is an inhale, and a full exhalation. Okay, and exhale. So a full breath in, a full breath out is 1 round. So 9 rounds of breath. Okay, with your eyes closed, keeping your eyelids nice and soft and relaxing into your jaw. You can invite a very subtle smile to the corners of your mouth and just letting your body relax all the way down through the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, from the ears all the way down over your shoulders and all the way down into your arms. And just really letting every exhale just settle you more and more into your seat. And letting each inhale expand. And breathing as softly and as smoothly as you can. So you're ironing out all of the creases of your breath. It's not about the depth of your breath here. Okay, it's not about how much breath you can get in. This is about how smooth and how even you can allow your breath to become. Okay, so you are in control here. This is what we call conscious breath work, because you're choosing how you breathe. This is not a mechanical action that's working for you. This is you choosing how to use your breath to bring your body into a much more relaxed state. Okay? So just take one more round of breath. Oh, I can see some comments here. Nice to see so many people joining. Thank you very much. Okay, so you can open the eyes again. Hi. You can tell I'm new to this, can't you? It's online stuff. So I really hope that just that simple breath work has actually just brought you into a place where you're feeling, a little bit more calm and relaxed. And I think at this time, with everything that's going on, everyone, self-isolating and social distancing, not being able to have as much freedom as we are generally used to. There's a lot going on. That it's a key to our health is the way that we breathe. Okay, actions and reactions are so different when the breath is involved. Okay. So now what I want you to do, we're going to go back into that breath work. But this time what we're going to start to do is we're going to pay attention not only to the way that we breathe in and the way that we breathe out. We're going to pay attention to the slight pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. Okay? So, and it's going to be, we're not going to force it. We're not going to hold our breath and tighten up our body or anything like that. We're just going to pay attention on the retention, the slight pause, when we notice the change that our inhalation is about to change into an exhalation. Okay, and you can stay there mindfully for a couple seconds. Okay, it's absolutely fine. And then you can but what we want to do is we want to keep it nice and relaxed. So when you do notice that change, or you notice you're coming to the top of your inhale, okay, we're then going to hold the breath, or just stay with the pause. Stay with the pause. That sounds better than holding the breath, because when you hold the breath, what happens is people immediately sort of go into that tight, sort of clenched feeling, and we don't want that. We want to remain as relaxed and calm as we can. So we're just going to stay with the pause for 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 seconds, however long it works for you. And then we're going to relax back out of it. Okay? And we're going to do that for a few rounds as well, with our eyes closed. And this is breath work that you can tap into any time of the day. You can do this when you're stood in the kitchen washing up the dishes. You can do this while you're sat in the garden in the sunshine. You can actually take this with you if you're walking, and you can make it mindful breathing. You can just start to tap into your breath all the time. Start to be aware, start to notice how you breathe at all points. If someone asks you a question, or if you're in a situation, or no matter what you're doing, you really might find yourself at one point stressed and holding in your diaphragm, and that's when you start to get all the anxiety. You start to get panicky. And so if you can tap into your breath, you're really going to help the way that your life works and the way that your life runs. Okay. And you can see that I'm not really even doing the practice at the moment, but even from doing a couple of breaths, I've almost gone into that, oh, I'm very, very chilled mode now. So, okay. All right. Are you ready? Get yourself comfortable. Okay. Sit with your spine and your torso lifted. Okay. You want to bring one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly. If that helps you, absolutely wonderful. Then go ahead, do that. If you find it better to work with both hands here, whatever. Remember, we are only belly breathing still, okay? So if you're a chest breather, I'm definitely going to recommend that you just keep your hand there for now. If you're a familiar breather, if you're a heavy breather, like me, no, joking. So I like a bit of humor. You can come into a position with the arms where they're extended down over the thighs. You can come into Chin Mudra, where you're connecting the first finger and the thumb as well. Okay, whatever suits you. But we're going to work now with the inhalation, the noticeable pause, and the exhalation. Okay, I'll guide you through a couple times, and then I want you to do another 9 rounds of this breath at your own pace. Okay. All right, so let's all take a nice deep breath in, no retention at this point. And as you exhale, gently close your eyes. As you continue to exhale, keep your eyes closed, keep them nice and soft. It's almost like you're smiling across your eyes, smiling into your mouth. Okay. And begin. So take a nice deep breath into the belly. When you get to the top of your inhalation, just stay there. And take a slow breath out. Breathing in. And just notice that pause of breath. And breathe out. I'm going to do it one more time with you. Really breathe in, let the belly expand. Go to your full inhale. Notice the pause between the inhale and the exhale, and breathe out. Keep your eyes closed and continue to work for another round, another 9 rounds of full breath in, noticeable pause and retention, and full breath out. If you're familiar and you want to add a small retention at the end of the exhale, that's absolutely fine. Keep breathing, keep your eyes closed, keep working to your own pace of breath. Sometimes people find it very helpful to count, okay? Now, depending on your breath and your lung capacity, that's going to be personal to you. So you may count in, for example, to 3 or 4. Hold the breath for 1 or 2 and breathe out for 3 or 4. So you want your inhalation and your exhalation to be the same. So we could inhale for 4. We could notice the pause for 2. We could exhale for 4 and even notice the pause for 2. Yeah? And then as we become more familiar, we learn to hold the retention a little bit more. And we could do what's called a pranic square, or a nice smooth breath where we would inhale for 4. Notice the held breath for 4. Exhale the breath out for 4. And hold the breath out for 4. So it's like a square, pranic square of breath. So just go for another couple of rounds, nice and slowly, breathing slowly. Noticing where you are in that body, where you are in that breath. Whatever happens, don't strain, don't struggle, okay? You're at your own comfort here with your breathing, but you are being the master of your breath. You are being in control. You are entering the doorway with your breath to learn to calm your mind, to become more connected with your heart and your emotions, to become more connected with your environment, with yourself, with those around you, with how your body works. And absolutely on a physiological level, which is what's going on inside of your body, you're calming all of your systems. So you're actually giving yourself one of the greatest gifts you can just from breathing. Okay? All right, that's wonderful. Well done, everyone. Okay. So whenever you're ready, just take a nice breath. Come on out. Okay. Open your eyes. Take a moment to reflect on how you're feeling. Okay. Just feel where you are in your body. Notice how you feel in your mind. Okay. Notice, does it sometimes feel like everything can be up here, but then when you like pay attention, I'm really hoping that just from that bit of breath work, everything feels like it's gone all the way down. Yeah. Okay. All right. So hopefully you're all right sat here for a little while. If you're not, if your ankles and your knees are aching, just take them out a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of a rub, because I want us just to sit down for a little bit more. It's funny, I've got two screens in front of me. So I've got this one that I'm actually doing now. Then I've got my delayed reaction one over there. I want to say hi to everyone that's tuned in again. All right, really appreciate this. Thank you. Thank you for your patience of being involved with me in this yoga journey. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of lymphatic stimulation and movement. I'm sort of moving as I'm talking. I'm almost giving the game away as to what we're going to be doing next. You got it. We're going into a nice torso rotation. Okay, so it's really important that we sort of get our systems working as well on internal level, get all of our lymphatic and our circulatory system going. Okay, which we really are taking it so slowly. For those of you that are interested in going deeper with me, okay, you can message me. We can do one-to-ones. We can work on Zoom. I generally teach a very, I teach a pretty tough practice as well. So, but today is all about just being in your body and being nice and calm. So if you can't sit like this, okay, I've got my props. You can use a stool. Woohoo! So you can just notice that even if you're on a stool, brings you up that little bit higher. Yeah. So you can still get the movement that you need on a stool. And if you don't have a stool or you don't need a stool, you can use a chair. I'm so silly, Hannah. And on the chair, because I know not everyone's physically able, not everyone has this, can sit for ages cross-legged on the floor. If you're going to use a chair, okay, you want to be nice and sort of wide in your body or wide in your stance, okay? And this is all about getting to move into your spine, move into your torso, and move in to your lymphatic system in your hips. Okay. All right. So I'm going to come back down on the floor. I just thought I'd give you a couple of examples in case you're like, my God, when's she going to get us off the floor? My knees and my ankles are killing me. Okay. So hands onto thighs, or hands, I like to gently wrap mine around my knees. And I'm still looking for that alignment. Oh, look like I'm going off to the side and wobbling. Okay. So we're going to do 5 rotations in a clockwise direction, nice and slowly. Okay. And then we're going to do 5 rotations in an anti-clockwise direction, nice and slowly. We're going to match the breath with the movement. Okay. So as we're going to inhale And oh, hold on, which is clockwise. Yeah, that's right. And start to come over the left knee and exhale forward. And inhale back up. You might be able to hear my breathing. And exhale. See how slow I'm going? That's 3. Do another 2 rounds. Do it on your own, nice and slowly. You want your breath to be really juicy, and you want it to start getting into your hips. Okay, you want to be able to feel it into these areas here. You're also using your core, so you don't press down heavy on your hands. You're also using muscles in your core to move and manipulate. Okay, so you're going to come back up to that start point. Breathe in. And breathe out as you're changing direction. Working at your own pace. Okay, so you've got another 4 rotations. We're going to do 2 rounds. Okay, so another couple more rotations. Really, really breathing. And you can keep your circles nice and small for now if you want to, because you're just getting the mobilization into your hips. But some of you might really be able to move deeper into your body. Okay, but you're just going to work with your own body and your own breath. And then you're going to come upright after you've done your 5th rotation in that anti-clockwise direction, and bring yourself back up into this place. Come and sit with a nice straight spine. Let's actually, before we go into the second round of that, let's come into something else as well. You're going to interlace your fingers, and you're going to gently, please note that my hands are not jarred together here, okay? I'm going to just gently interlace my fingers, okay? Because I want to place them around the back of my head and neck. And what I'm going to do with my thumbs, just turning around from all angles here. Okay, hopefully you can see. My hands are not stuck onto my head. They're nice and gentle. And you see these thumbs here? I'm going to actually use them to help lift into the base of my skull and my neck, so I've got nice length. Okay, so I need to be able to have movement throughout my shoulder and throughout my head and neck. And if you come too much with the compression, that's not going to happen for you. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to invite our upper body and our lymphatic system and all the passageways from the heart into the armpit, up through the neck, into the brain, to join in. Okay, so that gentle interlaced of the fingers. Let's start by gently tucking the chin down towards the chest and bringing the elbows together. Do it on an exhale, but just a gentle exhale here. So if you can get the elbows together, that's fine. It absolutely doesn't matter. If your hands are sealed together, you're going to struggle getting those elbows together without crushing the sides of your skull. So be nice and loose, yeah? So just gently tuck here. And then on the inhale, it's like you're going up and open. And on the exhale, it's like you're going round and down. So breathing in and breathing out. Just shoulders and chest at the moment, not so much the spine. 3 more rounds, breathing in. Really spread your elbows and lift your chest up. Breathing out. I do understand that I take long, slow breaths, so don't worry if your breath doesn't match. Do it to work for you. Really nice. Well done. Just do one more for me now, and really feel like you're going out and up. It's almost like you're drawing a bit of a circle with your arms. You're not just flaring them out. You want to be able to really explore that range of movement and get your chest involved. And we'll come back to that one again after we've done the next set of torso rotations. And be aware of what's happening here. Be aware of what's happening in your pelvic floor. Are you dropping down internally into your seat? Or have you noticed that from sitting upright and from doing these movements, you're actually picking up the diamond shape of your pelvic, the muscle of the pelvic floor, and it almost feels as though you're lifting and scooping up to enable you to be more engaged, okay, to be more internally engaged in the way that you're moving and the way that you're breathing. So now that we've got a little bit of movement in the shoulders, what we'll do is we'll just bring the fingertips. I keep adding more things in. This is because I'm such an ad hoc teacher. We could be here all day, really. Spread your fingers out for me, please. Anyone? Hey, Richie, darling. Nice to see so many of you. Thing is, if I look on my laptop and I'm busy reading comments, then I forget that I'm meant to be teaching. So, yeah, right. So, show me your hands, everyone. Get your fingers nice and spread. And see if you can touch your fingertips onto your shoulders. Okay. And again, we want to be upright. Remember, you can use the chair. That's the chair. It's over that side. You can use the stool. Okay. And if, for this one as well, if it's getting too much, being cross-legged, come here. Kneel up for me. Or even stand on your knees. Okay. I have to move back for you to see that. So there are options. Okay. I don't want you to be sat there and crushed in the knees and crushed in the ankles. So modify it for it to work for you. God, and you know, or even like spread your legs, you know, spread your legs out, take one leg out and do it that way. But I'm going to come back to this position because this is what I like. This is what works for me. This is what I love. Okay, so those fingertips are on my shoulders. We're just going to get a little bit of mobilization as well now. We're going to sort of push them back slightly, and now we're going to inhale to take them up and exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Really breathing. So you want that inhale to go inhale, 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 inhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 inhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. And just again, juicy is a word that I really love. See how juicy you can get your joints. Okay, you want the synovial fluid to be really moving as well. You want the breath to be traveling. Get the breath coming in. Try and breathe in and out through the nose if you can. Start getting all of the oxygen coming into the body and the carbon dioxide, and get working with getting everything coming to the muscles, all of your cellular respiration. When we're working here as well, we're really starting to get into the serratus muscles. We're really starting to get into the muscles that assist with our breath work, that assist with these muscles here, the serratus anterior posterior, all the intercostal muscles that really help with the expansion of our rib cage. Okay, so just another couple more rounds of this one for me, please. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. Do you want to give your traps a little squeeze for me as well? Just to activate them a little bit here. Okay, we don't generally drag the shoulders together, but we're going to in this point. So that inhale is going to come up, and then we're going to bring it as wide as we can. We're going to squeeze it in the top, squeeze it in the mid, and squeeze it in the lower, and rock it down. And just another couple rounds, and then we're going to go in the opposite direction. Okay, so bring it back to the front. Get that pelvic floor engaged as well. Really sort of sit into your body. Come into your body, okay? That's why we are here on this earth as humans, to be in this body, okay? So now we're going to come the other way. We're going to inhale, take it back. Lift into the ribs. Exhale round. Inhale. Exhale. What does that look like from the side for you? Let's have a look. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. I'm actually going to move my spine a little bit now as well. Look at this. To lift the ribs. Inhale. Round the back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just do a couple more of those for me. Okay? A couple more if you can. And then I want you to come straight back into a nice seated position. Take a lovely long deep breath in through your nose. Okay? You can even get your knuckles, these ones here, and spread your nose, brush your face a little bit like that. It's not the best of looks, but it works. Look. And take a nice deep breath in. And hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and breathe out. Take a full breath in. We're going to breathe in fully through the nose, all the way up to the crown of the head. And then you're going to breathe out through your mouth, okay? So we're going to breathe in. Almost a bit of a sigh. Give me a little bit of a laugh as well, because laughing is another really good thing for us, okay? We need to be happy. We need to smile. We need to laugh. We need to laugh at ourselves, most definitely. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to spiral it round again. But this time I'm going to invite you to be a little bit more fluid with it, okay? And to work a little bit quicker. And if you want to, you can start to involve the arms and the body as well. So when we did the first round of torso rotation, we had the hands on the knees and we were just very slowly exploring. We were sort of slowly exploring, weren't we? Okay. But what we can also do is we can bring the hands, we can move them, we can migrate from the knees to the chest, and we can sort of start to move them like this, okay? And we can also start to push and pull, or push away as we're coming forward and pull it in. Okay, or for some of you, you might actually want to, because we've done a little, this is why I came into the spine and the shoulders actually, so that I could invite this next movement in, because there's no point going into anything cold. You need to, we need to layer things up. So the whole idea of teaching yoga is that it's a layered system, all right? And it's good. You know, the whole body is connected. There's not one piece of the body that is not connected to the other. The big toe on the fascia is actually connected to the tongue, you know, so when you look at the web of the body. So don't ever think that one part of your body is separate from the other. Everything is integral. Everything works together. It might work on different planes, okay, but it works together. And that's something else that we can look into. So we can go deeper and deeper and deeper into everything. But the reason I started working on the shoulders and the arms, etc., is because we can do this spinal twist. I might need to move back a little bit so I don't knock the camera off. And this one, you need to see how you are on your back as well, okay? But we can come to it from here. So we can take that inhale, and then we can have a go. All right, so find a way that works for you. I wouldn't recommend having the arms extended over the head if you're someone who suffers from lower back problems, okay? This is for someone who wants to just activate their core muscles even more, okay? It will put pressure on your lower back if it's something that you're not used to doing. So otherwise you just stay here, okay? And a sideways view of what we can also start to do with this one. Okay, so let's do a few in that clockwise direction. Sit still, we'll take it back in the anti-clockwise direction, but what we can do, we can really start to move our spine into it as well. So rather than it just being a movement like this, we can actually really start to bring the back and the shoulders and everything into the movement. So you can see the spine is like really moving nice and fluidly. So just a couple rounds at your own pace, please, in that anti-clockwise direction. And then you'll be really pleased to know I'm going to get you off this seated position and get you onto your hands and knees and show you how you can work in a table position. So just one more in that anti-clockwise position. And then we're going to inhale and take a nice deep breath in. Let's take our arms up over our heads. Breathe in, reach up. And breathe out. Well done. It's really nice. Well done, everyone. You stuck with me for a long time then. It's amazing how long you can just stay seated, working on torso twists and looking at how it sort of affects and moves through the body. And it's great for the spine as well. It gives us that little sort of rotation. We've got a little bit of flexion and extension going on. But it's really sort of great for getting all your spinal fluid and juices moving up through your central nervous system. Okay, so shall we come out of this? Be aware of your knees and your ankles if you've been sat in this for a while with me. We are going to come down now onto our hands and knees, okay? So bring yourself out. Find a comfortable position. Just organise my mats a little bit. Okay. Let's get rid of that bad boy on there. Right. Okay. Hi, and here we are again. We're going to go and do a bit of cat-cow. Okay, so this is a really good one for your core. It's also very good for helping you to learn to move your spine in conjunction with your breath. So as I've said before, the breath is the key. Okay, the breath is the master key to your wellness, and on every level. I really can't stress that enough. Whether you are, you can be the most physically strong, fit person, but still find that you don't breathe properly. Okay, so the breath really is the key. And once you master the breath, you're onto a winning streak. Okay, so we're going to come down onto hands and knees. Okay, I'm going to show you from a side profile. And what we're looking for is we want this shoulder to wrist alignment. Okay, shoulder to wrist alignment. Then we want knee. That's the knee, sorry, not the other. We want knee to hip alignment. So shoulder to knee, knee to hip. So what I mean by that is I don't want your wrist well above, we want your wrist to be under your shoulders. So you're going to just spend a little bit of time aligning your body. Okay. Spending a little bit of time lining it all up, and then I want you to sort of make sure your hands are pretty much at shoulder width. So I'm going to come into a few different postures a few different profiles for you here, just so that you can see. If I can just move my mat with all my props getting in the way. Okay, so there we go. Look, hands. Right, so shoulders, hands. Okay. So you can see that I'm not wide and I'm not in front. I'm really trying to keep my hands under. Another thing that we do when we're in these poses is when we're working from the ground up, we use our foundations. Okay, so whichever part of your body is making contact with the floor is the foundation of your structure. Okay, is the foundation of your body. So you want to spread your hands nice and wide. Okay, really wide. Get the webbing in between your fingers really open and your thumbs, okay? And place them down underneath your shoulders so you've got a good, strong foundation. Same with your knees. You want them under your hips. And you're looking really for the length between your wrist and your knee to resemble the length of your spine so that you can actually move. You want to be able to angulate your spine without having to rock backwards and forwards. And once you're in these positions and you've got your alignment, it's from here that you can just basically lift into plank And from there, you can find yourself into a nice dog. Okay, so it saves on our end. Once we start to develop our practice where we become a lot more fluid and we're moving and we're working stronger, we're not having to move and readjust our hands and feet all the time. So we're actually conserving energy. Conserving, I think, saving. Okay, so hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Let's go back to this one. And now what's going on here? So we've been deep belly breathing, haven't we? This time I'm going to encourage you to try and pull the belly back towards the spine, because you can see if the belly drops, look what happens to the lower back. Just look at this region here, okay? You can see instantly the belly drops. Oh, look, so does the lower back. So then we're not actually activating any of our muscles. We're not supporting our core. So what we want to do is start to engage our pelvic floor and our inner muscles and pull the belly back to the spine and press the spine up as well. Okay, so we're holding in a nice position where we are activating. We're not squeezing, but we're activating. And we're going to start the movement here at the base of the spine, which this area here, which we call the sacrum. Okay, so we've got the coccyx and the sacrum here in this area, and we're going to start moving from there. And on an inhalation, we're going to start to peel the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Let the lower back concave and the belly drop. The chest comes forward and the chin lifts. On the exhale, the movement starts again at the pelvis, and we gently push forward with the pelvis. And we press into the upper back and draw the chin to the chest. So that's your exhale. So your inhale starts at the hips, and we start to breathe in as we roll and all the way up through the spine, breathing, breathing, breathing. And we exhale. And I want you to just keep on going for a few rounds of breath. I'm just checking what the time is. Oh my goodness me. Is that the time? We've done an hour already. I want you to keep on going for a few rounds of breath, just trying to match your breathing with your movement, okay? And this is all about getting flexibility throughout your spine, okay? This is about us learning how to move into the spine and to get everything flowing up through the spinal column, through the central nervous system, and feeding all of our peripheral nervous system. Which is why in yoga they always there's a saying that is, you are as young as your spine. So age is irrelevant, okay? What is relevant is the way we look after our bodies and the effects of how that gives us life and health, the longevity that we gain from it. Unfortunately, nowadays as well, many people, our bodies are not being used how they should be, because we are designed to be absolutely amazing. Well, we are amazing. But many of us now don't really move our bodies in the mechanical way that it was, that it evolved. We designed hunter-gatherers able to run, climb, jump, many, many things. But unfortunately, just due to the way that we live, the way that we drive cars, the way we sit down for everything, we're not really accessing our bodies in the way that we can. So the beauty of doing yoga is the fact that it does enable us to move in these peripheral, in the boundaries of the body. It enables us to explore. So yoga is all about union, but really it's about self-exploration. So for me, yoga means learning about yourself, because you have to invest time and energy to learn about your body, your mind, and your breath, and how it actually works together and what that makes you as a human. And you find out the capabilities of your own body in that way, and your own mind. So just coming back into these as well. So this is a very simple one. This is cat-cow. It really is very good for people that suffer from bad backs as well, because what you're doing is you are working through the muscles of your back, herniated discs. It's great for helping with the spinal muscles that run, or the back muscles that run either side of the vertebrae. And if you're someone that wants to start engaging the core even more in this, you can just gently do tap, you can gently destabilize the body by taking one of your foundations, off of the ground. So you're reducing the support in your physical structure. So even by lifting one arm, okay, then you've got other muscles and deep core muscles that are really having to involve themselves to keep your body upright. So these practices are much more subtle and much greater than you doing sit-ups. I mean, to be able to lift one arm and one leg at the same time, okay? And then to put it back. I don't have very much room in here, I'm afraid. But to inhale and rise. And when you're in that rise, you're pulling the belly back towards the spine. You're pressing this hand in. You're lifting up into that shoulder, not dropping into it, lifting. Pressing up, pressing the back ribs up. Squeezing through the glutes and lengthening the leg out as far behind you as you can as you reach forward here. Completely destabilize your core now, because you've taken two of your support structures off the floor. So you're having to recruit all of these muscles. And if you continue to really focus on the inhalation and the exhalation, you're really working with a yogic breath. And we inhale and we exhale to release. Let's take it to the other side, just in case you didn't have a go. We're going to do it again. So we're going to inhale, pick up the knee and the hand at the same time. Lift and exhale. Work around objects in the room. Now notice, stay here and breathe, okay? And I really want you to notice what's happening in your body. Your body's going to tell you that you're tired, or your mind is as well. It's going to start to become a struggle. Your breath might start to waver a little bit. I want you to pull your belly back in towards your spine and activate your pelvic floor. And now lengthen your leg out as far behind you as you can. So it's like in a full stretch, and lengthen your arm out into a full stretch as well. So you really are stretching in both directions. And start to steady your breath. Hold it and breathe really deeply and strong and slow. Be in control, okay? Hold it there for another breath. Take a nice deep inhale. And now slowly exhale and lower both the arm and the leg together at the same time. And take a lovely breath in. And a nice long breath out. Okay. There's so much that we could talk about. I said to Sam an hour. I can see that we've already gone on to an hour. And I've only covered a couple things with you. So there is so much that we can do and that we can work together to help create a very calm and strong body and mind. And when I say strong, I don't mean as in physically strong. I mean strong in here, strong up here, and united, okay, because that's what's really, really important. So I'm just going to give you a little recap, because I don't want to go over too much. As a teacher, that's all I am, okay? And a little bit about me is I have been playing, well, I've had a relationship with yoga for about 25 years. I'm certainly not one of these people that's just flirted with it. It's something that I'm very committed to. It's like my lifelong relationship. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it, but I always really love it. But what we've done today, okay, so my teaching you is so that I can actually give you tools to go home with, okay? So there's no point me just teaching you something that you don't have a clue what you're doing or why you're doing it. That is not what's meant to happen. So we've only done some very, very basic things, okay? But the idea of keeping it slow and keeping it basic and keeping it simple is that you understand what you're doing, and you've got a few things that you can go home and practice with, okay? So ultimately, you are your own teacher, okay? I'm here as a guide, and I can help whenever you need me to, but you are your own teacher, and so is your breath. Please listen to your breath. That's what we've really touched upon today more than anything. Your breath is your biggest teacher in anything that you do at any given time, okay? So please be mindful of your breath. That is the one thing that I would really love for you to take away from today's session, is to be mindful of your breath, to be mindful of the way that you breathe, okay? And to spare yourself time to breathe, okay? So we started by doing the belly breath. We had one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, if you found that belly breathing was difficult. If you could give yourselves a little bit of breath food each day, okay, then that would be a really great start to your health, okay, whether one on every level. So perhaps we could call it like breakfast, lunch, and supper. If you could spare like 3 to 5 minutes a day, just breathing in the morning, before you eat lunch, and before you go to bed, okay? That's like 15 minutes of your day. That's nothing when you think that there's 24 hours in a day. So that would be one thing that I would really, really love for you to practice on. And I would love to hear your feedback. Okay, I'd like to, be very interested to know how you are now. But it would be also very, very interesting to see how you're feeling in a week's time, having given yourself breath for breakfast, lunch, and supper, okay? So I'd really love you to do that. So belly breathing, okay? If you've forgotten, maybe this records, I'm hoping, so you can always go back. So we did the belly breathing. We also did the torso rotation. Yeah, so we did a little bit of breath work and we did a little bit of lymphatic. Very, very simple. Torso rotation, good morning and good night. So we did some opening and we did some shoulder rotations, didn't we? So 3 very, very basic, simple exercises, which I'm very happy as well to recap with you at any point if you want to send me a message just to say, what were those 3 exercises again? I can't remember. And there are ways that you can keep them very simple. You can even imagine that you've got a little egg on top of the head and keep it super, super simple. Or you can go into full-on deluxe luxury mode, okay? And then the last thing that we did was we came up onto our hands and knees and we looked at how we could then bring the movement into the spine via cat and cow. So if you remember cat-cow pose, that's something that you can also investigate yourself online, but it really is about learning to move with your breath. So keep it so, so simple and get these simple poses and the simple breath the simple breath work right, okay? It will change every time you do it because we never breathe the same way twice. Yes, we breathe in and we breathe out, but every breath is different. Every moment is different. So every time we practice something is different. But if you can explore the belly breath, the 3 lymphatic exercises, and the hands and knees cat-cow, okay? That will be a really good start to what we would like to grow from a very organic point of a yoga practice. And just remembering that it is all about you. And every time you're doing this, keep checking in with your breath, okay? Keep checking in all the time with it and let it be your teacher and let your body be your teacher. But don't listen too much to this one. Okay. Now that we're coming to the end of our session, Sam, I'd like to thank you very much for allowing me to go over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Generally, I would never finish a session without do the relaxation. So perhaps when we're finished, if anyone wants to lie down for Shavasana and relax for 5 to 10 minutes as well, then that would then sort of top off your practice. But we'll cover that next week anyway. Okay. All right,
Sarah,
Sam, over to you.
thanks
Thank you very
thanks
much.
so much for joining us. That was awesome. I'm feeling very chilled now. I've been doing some of the breath work. Thank you, Sarah.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot. I think we're losing Sarah on signal right at the end there, but thanks so much to everyone that's joined us today. If you've enjoyed this one, drop us a comment down below. Feel free to share the video on your feed. As soon as the live finishes, it will turn into just a normal Facebook video, so you can share that one out there. We'll be back tonight with more live music from 8 o'clock, so we'll see you later on. This is the Virtual Pub. Peace.